How to Create a Glitch Monologues Season 11 Chapter 7. This is Season 11 of How to Create a Glitch in the Matrix Monologues Episode 7. In this episode, we will be discussing the effect of grounding in the context of a larger discussion about retrograde deference and concealment. To start off, thought which is suppositional or negating, closed thoughts, are tangential in nature. That is to say, they possess dimensions of time which run contrary to the arrow of time understood to be the result of entropy. That is to say, it may be reasonable, according to retrograde deference, for all chaos to be so ordered, backwards, in time. Thus, since we know that the entropy of the universe must increase or stay the same, we know that the past as we understand it possesses less entropy than the future, and thus more information. Thus, it would make sense that information would flow from the future to the past and not vice versa. Now, experientially, it is possible to bend back the layers of thought which comprise our reality in the present. This bending back involves the passage of one's awareness into the past from the future. Awareness, so ordered, may find a supple home in the past, owing as it does its existence to a kind of information processing in the future. Thus, the negating thought interrupts the ordinary stream of thoughts, open thoughts, which maximize the release of tension in the future. However, it can also be said that grounding begins in the recognition that we are so filtered by everyone according to our obvious externalities, and the simultaneous recognition of those externalities in the acceptance of a role or archetypal-based existence. Suffice it to say, in our recognition and self-assumption of the filter of our externalities, the acceptance of the role we are assigned, we are grounded and become what we are, not mere simulacra, ideal and unmitigated. What I am saying is that our most basic desire is the recognition that we are mere simulacra. It is in our most vulnerable that we assume the mantle of synthetic, and thereby attain the substance or coherence of an acting agent in this reality. Thus, tangential thought, negating thought, is the preserve of one who rejects categorically his or her interchangeability, who denies his or her definition, or even classification, as abhorrent, if only so as to escape the inescapable conclusion that one is truly and simply not real. But be that as it may, I can say firmly that to escape simulacra is to accept it, and the grounding it affords, as indirect ground, if only so as to be for another moment or day, and to unfurl the certainty of one's true reality by folding back negation into the past. Suffice it to say, this podcast offers only a glimpse into a world which is unbounded, where group consciousness and omniscience informs the offhand comments of strangers in a cafe, where meaning can be assigned posthumously as certainly as today. In this reality, the delivery driver who makes 1,000 mistakes on his route does so for the purpose of that chance meeting at your doorstep. Where music heard from a passing car reminds you of a favorite moment, not by accident but by direct consequence of the driver's appreciation for your musical taste. Nothing in this reality is truly disconnected. And everything happens as a consequence of some certain human reaction, whether conscious or unconscious. For although we may not all be six-dimensional beings, a part of us understands everything only too well. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe.